Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today I have my final book haul of 2019. This is the final book haul of a decade, and even though I haven't been hauling that many books this year, because I have to save money nowadays, do that whole adult thing of looking at my finances as opposed to just hemorrhaging money on books the year through, only to unhaul them later when the books were absolutely terrible. I thought it'd be a nice way to look at how far Charlie has come over the last 10 years, to look at the books that he's purchasing. Well, firstly, I never used to purchase my own books unless they were for uni or school, so that's definitely changed the landscape of what I'm buying. But also, I have a bag full of the Mortal Instruments books over there, and they were what I was going into this decade reading as my favourite series of all time and recommending to everyone, and I never thought that I would leave that series behind. They're now being taken to a charity shop. I have had those books waiting in that bag for over a year because it felt as though they were something I couldn't let go. We are going to look at the books that I have received for Christmas or purchased myself. Firstly, I will begin with the time that I realised I might just be an adult. I received not one, but 2 copies of Veg by Jamie Oliver for Christmas. This is what happens when you become a vegetarian. Suddenly, everybody just thinks, oh, he's my vegetarian friend now, I will buy him vegetarian cookbooks. This is the one that includes the strange cheese toastie that Jamie Oliver was talking about on the radio, and that is all I know about this book. I don't tend to use recipe books that much simply because I'm a bit arrogant and just start throwing stuff together and praying that it works. I feel like once you get the basics, you're okay. But there might be some good recipes in here, and I'm grateful to have received not 1, but 2 copies of this. I'm not yet sure what I'm going to do with the second copy. I had considered giving it to my brother should he ever decide to finally leave the house, but I should say move out. And I haven't moved out, and I'm 4 years older than him. Next, we have Christmas presents, and my parents requested that I didn't give them such a large list this year. Usually, I put together a list of about 30 books, maybe less, sometimes just 10, and I say that's a list for them to just pick off of, so I don't know what I'm getting. This year, they said we haven't got a lot of money. I'm like, well, I ain't got a lot of money either, so this seems like Charlie's not getting a lot of books in 2019. So I just requested the books that I wouldn't want to buy myself, but I wanted to read. Firstly, we have Confessions of a Bookseller by Shaun Bythell. I enjoyed The Diary of a Bookseller, so I wanted this one. Then I also got Twas the Nightshift Before Christmas by Adam Kay, a book that I was really looking forward to. It didn't disappoint. I read it on Boxing Day. Fantastic. And then I also got Breaking and Mending by Joanna Cannon. This is Joanna Cannon's memoir of becoming a junior doctor and what made her change her decision and go into psychology. I read this earlier in the year when I was sent an ARC, and I thought it was fantastic. I also knew I had to buy a copy myself, but I didn't. I got my parents to do it instead. There are 2 books that I purchased from work. The first of them is The Accident on the A35 by Graeme, Macrae, Burnett. I've been told that this book is funny and is about an accident on the A35. There's also an aspect of the mystery here, and so I just thought I'd give it a whirl because it was £1. And then I have All Rivers Run Free by Natasha Carthew. I'm sure I follow this writer on Twitter. I'm sure she has another book that I've been hearing more about, but this book seemed to remind me of The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivy when I read the blurb, and therefore I thought I might just have a gander. Waterstones are having a sale, and therefore I got myself a box of books. The first book I've got is The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. This is a book about a mixed-race gay teen who finds himself through performing drag. It's written in a poetic form, and it seemed like just the sort of thing I want to read and should be reading. Then I have Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. This won the Man Booker. There is no other winner. Let's forget any other winner was ever mentioned. I have heard that this tells more than one story. Basically, someone mentioned at some point Northumberland, and my brother recently, 2 years ago, absconded to Northumberland with my nephew, who might just be my favourite person on the planet, and, I might forgive my brother one day. It mentioned Northumberland, and because of that, I decided that I would buy the book. I have Lowborn by Kerry Hudson. This is a memoir that people have been recommending for the entire year, apparently about growing up in a poorer environment. And if you didn't know, I'm still in that environment. I'm still reliably poor. Kerry Hudson's going back and revisiting the places that she lived as a child when she was poor and talking about and discussing that sort of thing. And if you didn't know, I like the discussion to be open about people from working class, poorer backgrounds, because it's often not. Therefore, I've wanted to own it for a while, and I just saw it in the sale and I thought I had to get it. Then I have 10 minutes 38 seconds in This Strange World by Elif Shafak, and a lot of people have talked about this book. I can't remember what it's about, but I've been meaning to read this author's work for a very long time now. I did see an interview in Writing magazine when she released her last book, so what's that, over 2 years ago? That's how long it takes me to even think about picking up a book, apparently. Then I have Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs by Doughty, Ask a Mortician series on YouTube, and she had these questions from children and she's answered them. Finally, I got Crownbreaker by Sebastien de Castell, the final book in the Spell Slinger series. I have now read 4 of the 6 books in this series and I'm hoping to finish it this year. I do like Sebastien de Castell's writing. His fiction is action-packed. I just haven't enjoyed the Spellslinger series as much as I have enjoyed the Greatcoat series, but I will continue to support the writer because his work's great and I enjoy it. And them's the books. These are the last books that I am taking out of this decade, out of 2019. What's different from 10 years ago? Well, I'm reading more adult fiction for one. There were only 2 books that were aimed towards young adults in this haul. I remember going into this decade thinking that most adult fiction was boring, but I just wasn't at an age to appreciate it yet. And now I prefer the slowed down, quieter fictions to the more action-packed, pacey ones. Unless, of course, I'm in the mood for a thriller, and even they can be more gory than horror. I didn't expect to read horror. If you've read any of these books and would like to discuss them, please feel free to do so in the comments. If you think I should prioritise any of these books over others, then do let me know. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, that your 2020 is quite fantastic, and until next time, that is all.